Alright, folks, we're going to open this episode with taming me a Limentria. You always got to start with that. Oops. Dang it. Passive. You got to bolo them. Otherwise, they'll just fly away really far. And then, hopefully, these trank arrows will get it. We'll see what kind of torpor it has.
I got a bowler ready for when it flies off again.
Good, good, good. So, a teammate ready with that is another good plan. That was really pretty.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting crop dusted.
Okay, there's your chance.
Missed it.
Ah. Alright. You want to bring everybody? Or maybe not. I'm running off. That's the thing. When you miss these guys, they're kind of gone. Alright. Well, we attempted to start that way. Now for the real start of the episode. Well, I'll quit butterfly chasing for now. You can see Aaron still up there on the roof. And instead I'm going to move on to what I'd planned. I wanted to show you a few really basic necessary items that come with this new expansion, the Scorched Earth. And I've been waiting for you all in order to make them. And I realized I also hadn't shown you the inside of this really fancy hut that Aaron made. The Adobe just really makes it for me. It's just the textures are really great. They look very realistic, very weathered, like it's been up here for a while. And also the textures don't repeat themselves immediately. They span over multiple blocks before they actually repeat, if at all. You can see like each one of these ceilings is a little bit different. I think that's really, really cool. That this adds this layer of realism to the game. But let me see. I can't move them because I've got mine on. Let me just show you the little porch over here. So that's really cool. And then our ladder up to the roof. And yeah, up here we can just kind of check out the progress of the rest of the village around the obelisk there. Then you can see people moving in and doing stuff bit by bit all around. My son's mobile base is coming together. He's got a big old cube up there now. Anyway, let me show you these things. So, get into my engrams over here. The first on my list is a whip. Now, these whips do no damage, so even though they look like whips, we don't have to worry about them hurting things, but I'll show you why. Because you use them to move your own dinos around, and wild dinos too. I also want to make the desert clothes, which provide much more armor than the cloth, and they give you much more heat protection. So let's learn all the engrams for those. I'm just doing this with you so you can see what the engram costs are and the levels associated. And the last one is the tent, which I've already learned. So let me see what I need to make those. Borrowed a little bit more crystal in order to do this. And then over here in armor, the desert clothes, let me see, missing silk, which I have. Oh, looks like I can make everything in here now. So let's go ahead and do that. Alrighty. Okay, so all that stuff crafted up. Go ahead and pass it over here. And then go ahead and put it on. See what it looks like. Fashion counts as much as function. Alright, look at me there. Pretty cool. This arm I don't know about. Why you'd have an arm exposed in the desert. But I made myself pretty well pigmented for this map. Apparently these goggles are really good in sandstorms too. So you can see. Check me out here. Alright, so I'm all done up with desert gear. We'll see how it affects my heat and stuff. My hyperthermal insulation is huge now at 208. Plus I'm up to 30 with fortitude. So this puts me in much better shape. And now I've actually got some armor value. I mean, pretty much 4 times what I had in the cloth, because that's only 10. So it's not quite flak, but I don't know how you'd ever wear flak on this map because it's just be too hot. It would cook you. So let me grab a few other things and we will make those. Oh, and one thing I should mention is that you are pretty much forced to make Adobe in this map because wood and stone shelters actually make you hotter. Now we do have a wood foundation. Aaron built it before he knew about that, but it doesn't seem to be hurting much. The whole above part is Adobe at least, and this stuff apparently is stronger than stone, even though it doesn't look like it. So it gives a pretty good amount of protection. Not quite metal, but I guess you could have a metal wall on the outside or whatever. Anyway, let's make these things. So here is the whip. There is that, and then here is the tent. Been looking forward to that. So there's the ingredients for the tent. The silk is not that hard because there's a lot of plants you can get it from. You don't have to kill them off. And then the whip is just basic hide, wood, fiber, and then the silk again. And if you make a sickle like I did and then go through the low growing plants, you get so much silk. It becomes so easy. So let's start with the whip right here. And then we'll put the tent down there. So this guy, taking a taking a cue straight out of Indiana Jones. Now it seems pretty evil, but apparently it does no damage. I've seen people use it on the test dummy, and it doesn't seem to do any harm. I don't know if it'll make things attack you or not. I should start with something a little easier than 2 Paraceratheriums. But for my own dinos, let me see. Move your tail. You can move them around with that. So it goes a little bit in the direction that you send him. He's torn because he's also following Pricker here. So he's not going to go very far. But you can get the point. If a guy's in your way, a lot easier than having to have him follow you. Make him move around. Let's mess with Nile a little bit here. There's a little blood mark, which I don't like, but it definitely did not hurt him. So you get about that much movement around, just enough to position your guys around your base. I also saw someone using this for when you get a Dodi and Anki before you have actual saddles. You can put them on Wander and then direct them to where the rocks are. That's a great way to do that stuff early. Also, apparently these are really good at harvesting plants, and I just got overloaded with it. It got me sand and stone. And I didn't see if it got silk and fiber, but I think it does that too. I'm pretty sure it does. Toss this stuff out and get unloaded. And one other thing. Hey Niall, can you come down here? Alright, let's see if this works. I hear there's a 25% chance. So he's carrying a metal hatchet. Check this out. There we go. He no longer has a hatchet. And guess what? I'm supposed to. And I had a metal hatchet already. Oh, there it is. It's on the ground behind me. Oh, he had a stone hatchet. Ah. He's taking it back. He took my whip. Give me my whip. Boy. So that's a pretty interesting mechanic right there. Be pretty good in PvP. I'm getting out of here before he takes my whip again. I guess you could just unequip it. Hey, let's try that again. I don't have it equipped now. See if you can take it now. Nope. Just makes me sound like I'm getting hurt. That's a little good therapy for my son. Alright, enough of that. So I can't take anything if you don't have anything equipped. So, pretty cool. Now, let's do this next one. You're out in the desert, and there's a storm, and you're moving along. You don't want to throw up a whole thatch shelter. What can you do? You can throw down a tent. Very nice little tent. Goes up right away. And then you can open it up like that. That's very cool. Not a whole lot of room in here, but enough to lay down a sleeping bag, I suppose, and weather out the storm. So we're going to be carrying this with us. And, well, the coolest thing, I believe, is you can do this. You can pick up the tent and move it along. How often can you actually pick things up in ARK? So a little instant shelter, and it gives you a ton of insulation. It's not very hot right now, or maybe I'm just doing good because I've got all this stuff on. We are at 72 degrees right now. So my hyperthermal insulation is 208. So 97, 208. Let's remember those. Oh, look at that. We went 610, 700. So that's a huge amount of insulation for both cold and hot. So this will keep you pretty good. I don't know how much protection it gives you against bad dinos. See, can we see? It only has 300 HP, so it's not very tough. And one of the things too about them is they lose HP kind of slowly. You can see I'm already at 298. So it's meant for using in a pinch, but not for just becoming your one and only shelter. That's why my son is he is making the Paraceratherium mobile shelter, because he wanted to do it with tents, but he went to sleep in one and it was gone before he came back. So anyway, those are the cool things. Now I got them made and have them and can use them, but I wanted to wait until you all were watching until I did. I went out seeking adventure again, looking for things to tame. I ran into quite a few stone golems, stone elementals on the way. The area outside the oasis can get pretty dangerous indeed. But I did manage to find a 116 Morellatops, and you can see right here how Cryo helped me with his Rex. He helped corner it in while I was able to tranquilize it, so that was a pretty nifty tactic. I hadn't yet actually used dinos like that before to corner in your tames, but that worked out pretty well. Anyway, here I am right now, and I've got the 116. He's in there, you can barely see it, but he's all spike walled in to keep it safe. And you can see the effect from the goggles from my desert clothes, kind of like the scuba mask with that little rim around it, but I can see a little bit better, I think. Not 100%, but I guess you get little glimpses through the sand with these. But I think I'm doing okay hanging out here on my mounts. I could put the tent up, but I think that actually might make me more vulnerable to critters and stuff. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to end the episode like this, out in the sandstorm. And we're going to pull in this 116 Morellatops. This other one, Wawa. Its name came from Aaron was holding down the W key when it tamed, so it was all W's. So I transformed that into something that made a little bit more sense. Anyway, thank you for watching until the very end. This has been Monkeypuzzle, your host, out here in the desert sandstorm on scorched earth. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.